you are sort of going up against systemic authority that is being implemented in a way that isn't actually life affirming for all people, and you're wanting that to be examined. And the traps will be to fall into us them thinking and to say, but you're wrong and you're bad in these ways, and I'm going to educate you, because that will really result. It doesn't mean it's not true. It's just that it's going to result in defensiveness and resistance. And so some tools for navigating those kinds of conversations would involve, and you get to decide which of these things you're up for and which of these things you're not up for, and which you want to develop and which ones you're not ready for. So I'm just going to give you a bunch of tools and you pick up the ones you want. Okay, you don't have to use any of them. One of them is you pick up the other person's perspective and then you add yours. So it sounds like this. Yes, it sounds like it's really important to you that we as a community move into a place of forgiveness and inclusion and acceptance of all people. Am I hearing that right? This is one of the things that you really value. Blah, blah, blah. Yes, I value that. That's right. You should just, et cetera, et cetera. Got it. Okay. I have the same desire for forgiveness and inclusion. I absolutely have no disagreement with you on that end goal. The process for me to getting there looks like this. My concern about the way in which we're living into that goal is that we gloss over, in my experience, I do not want my feelings and my experience to be minimized and glossed over. And what would help me is to blah, 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 blah. So you've got to get very good at asking for what would help. You've got to get good at giving people images of what it is you want them to be doing and saying that they have never thought of, because that's not their programming. And what we don't want to do is keep talking about the pink elephant that we want to have go away, because every time I mention the pink elephant, everybody is thinking of the pink elephant. So I don't want to talk about what I don't want. Instead, what I want to talk about is my rainbow unicorn. And they've never thought about a rainbow unicorn. They didn't even know there was such a thing as a rainbow unicorn. But when I start describing the rainbow unicorn and the fact that it's kind of a Pegasus unicorn and it has wings, and not only that, but it deep dives into the ocean, suddenly all of you are imagining some mythical creature that you were not thinking of 2 minutes ago. Okay? And this is how social change happens most effectively. We find the needs that people are saying they value: forgiveness, moving on, belonging, harmony, whatever it is. We find the needs that we can join them in. Yes, it sounds like you really want harmony and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, oh, I'm so on board with that. Here's how I need to get there. Along the way, there's a process for me. And in order to get to this thing that you and I both want to get to, I need some empathy. I would need some mirroring and acknowledgement of my feelings. I need so-and-so to sit with. I have an awareness. I want some examination of any of the unconscious things that are going on for us. And we do it in a way that is inviting, that is joining with, that is clear, that is firm, that is proactive. And in order to do that, we need to do a lot of our own, often we need to have a lot of our own healing work done, because I will fall down to the degree that I don't trust myself, to the degree that I have self-doubt, to the degree that I am still dependent on you thinking good things about me, I will lose my clarity. And so when I start doing this kind of work, I will find out very quickly where my vulnerabilities are, because those are the places where I get hooked. And then I go, okay, the places where I get hooked are the places that have been historically painful for me when I've worked with authority figures. And so I want to tend to the wounds. I need to go and tend to what is painful so that I can build these muscles so that I can come back with empowerment and love and strength. And so every time I find a place in me where I get hooked and I get triggered and I get overwhelmed, very, very important not to judge ourselves. We don't pathologize ourselves. We don't turn on ourselves and say, oh yeah, this is where I'm so weak and triggered and wounded, and this is what's wrong with me. We don't do that. We greet the triggers with, there's pain here for me. I want to go and dignify, honor, tend to, embrace, be gentle with. I want to go and do some healing work, because when I do my own healing work, I bring back more power. And I am interested in bringing a different kind of power into the world, not a violent power. I am interested in bringing nonviolent, relational, life-affirming empowerment. And that means when I'm doing social change work, I am committed to not harming the people who continue to try to harm me. Yeah. And in order to do that, I need a tremendous amount of awareness and consciousness and clarity and community. We cannot, none of us can do this on our own. We need communities like what you're doing here today that we come back to and we get some clarity and we unpack and we talk and we grapple and we fill up, and then we get back out there in the situations that we each individually choose. This is the battle I'm going to take on. And each of us, if each one of us took on one battle, we will change the world. But the moment that we think we have to take on 100 battles, we become overwhelmed and paralyzed, and none of us are changing anything. And when we think we have to override and come with force and evangelical whatever, or colonial whatever, or power over whatever, we're recreating the same structures with different content. And so we need to actually be changing the rules of the game itself and how we're showing up.